John Chambers versus Andrew Patchett. Patchett to break off frame 1. As I said, Top Cat awaits the victor. Another look at Andrew's break. Both these players have been in absolute stunning form of late. Both these players' first Ultimate Pool Pro semi-final. So these are uncharted waters. Chambers been around a while though. Been professional for a number of years. Has just come over to Ultimate Pool this season, along with his brother Rob. They've been the heartbeat of England for many years, the pair of them. Andrew Patchett, this is his second season as an Ultimate Pool professional. And he's having a wonderful tournament so far. And Tony Holgate, and with me, and still in the commentary box. He's galloped back from his interview with Mr. Cousins, Stephen Jameson. Hello, sir.
Good evening, Tony. Good evening to you, mate.
Lovely to see you.
Yeah, tremendous. I'm looking forward to this semi immensely. I think the way that the first semi-final went, you could sort of, you sort of not expected it, but you could sort of see it coming maybe. But two great players, and great players beat each other, and Carl and Tom have sort of been there and done that in that respect. I was looking forward to it, but this one's the fans' favourite for me. This one's really got the imagination. Two players who, up until 2 weeks ago, had never been to an Ultimate Pool semi-final before. They qualified through in the Champions League, and they get to play that semi-final, not against each other, by the way, on Monday night. And then they turn up to the Pro Series the weekend before, and they both run to the semi-final in the opening event. And that is a whistling pot from Andrew Patchett, which hopefully, for his sake, will settle him down. John Chambers with a tough yellow up to the top of the table that he had to turn. But this is not an easy layout for the first frame. This is not exactly what you want. But Andrew can go at these, and he will, and this shot might unlock the whole frame for him.
Lovely shot there from Andrew. Yeah, I was on the comms team that was for the Andrew Patchett Rab McCulloch game earlier today over on the YouTube table. And Andrew was fantastic, but then all of a sudden in the middle of the match, his arm fell off and he was missing balls everywhere, and I thought, what on earth happened to him? But then, just when it was required, suddenly got back on the horse and won the race.
Yeah, he's playing with a lot of confidence right now. Oh, okay.
Unfriendly nudge. But yes, the earlier match I did bear witness to it. I sort of hovered around by the arena. Well, yourself and Monsieur Webb were on the comms. That was the old Tom Cousins that suddenly showed up. He had a bit of a couple of sketchy matches where he did play fantastic yesterday and today in places, but then when it was required, gets himself over the line. But my word, didn't he play well in that semi-final? Jeepers.
Yeah, didn't he just? Absolutely superb.
Well, Tom Cousins awaits the winner, and it's John Chambers who wants to be his opponent later tonight. He gets to the table courtesy of Andrew. Join that red and hanging it over the bag. Is he a bit straight? It's this yellow now and the black for John Chambers. And John Chambers has burst out of the block.
Yeah, sort of, I think it's safe to say a slightly iffy start from both. It was a tricky finish for both. Both had their first opportunity in that frame, didn't take it. Oh, as we see Amy Beecham go in off. Barbara Taylor, who is already 3-0 to the good in that match.
Yeah, Barbara Taylor there rolling back the years. She's been a world champion.
She's got a frame to win here though, goodness me, this one might take a minute. Reminder, winner of this one will join Colette Henriksen in the final. Colette has already made it, she beat Danielle Randall, who, you know, congratulations should be made to Danielle. Her 3 events so far this year have gone semi-final, final, semi-final. So
Steady going.
Yeah, very, very good return to form for Danielle Rocket Randall. As for this match, these two players looking to create their own bit of history. It's not been a case of relentless consistency. This is uncharted territory for both of these players, with ultimate pool at least. John Chambers, a seasoned campaigner, has played in plenty of big matches down the years. Andrew Patchett, likewise, but maybe a little less so. Less storied a record than John, perhaps, but certainly the way that he's been playing in the last few days in particular, last few months in particular rather, has shown us that he is starting to become ready to win one of these events.
Chambers looking very good here as well for frame number 2. And this one from the break. Nothing Andrew Patchett can do except sit and watch a moment. Nice shot from John. Just a nice slow roll up the cushion with this black ball. In it goes, and John Chambers makes it 2-0 in this second semi-final. As we look down on this amazing arena here, Bolton Wanderers FC.
Yeah, it remains some setup, this, and it's started to take on a slightly different atmosphere. There's finals on right now, and you can see a battle taking place just to the right of the main arena as our camera looks. That right there is the Challengers Series final, and it's Kyle Selman against Sean Nolan. Big experience for those two players. And all I can say is I wish them well. Tier 3 final, I believe, is on first. Tier 2 and Tier 1 coming up later on tonight. That's a belting break from Andrew Patchett, and too early to say that he needed that, but he'll be certainly pleased to have it.
That's an incredible explosion on this break. Look at that. That's as good a break as I think I've seen this week so far. Yes, we've seen breaks with more balls, but it's just the initial impact and the explosion. Therefore, after. Well, he's had a kick and bump through that little gap there, is Andrew. And now you see that yellow that's just above the red at the top of the table. Does go into the top right hand corner, and if it passes into the left hand centre, it's not too much of a problem for him. there just with that overhead. That tells its story. Well, not landed in the greatest spot there. Andrew didn't want that nudge on the yellow, and he's pushed the yellow towards the rails, but going to have to come back down now. So this is a complete reroute. Just steadying himself now. He's just about to get down and play, and he's got back up again. It's needs to be completely in focus. Great pot. Now is he going to be on the yellow? He wants to be as straight as he can when he has the angle. If he was straight, he would have played to get on in the middle. He still can. If he puts a bit of top spin on the left-hand side, he can squeeze the cue ball over towards about a ball width past the bolt line. Lovely shot. Just having enough angle to push this red out of the way. Give himself a finish black into the corner. Well, no. Managed to get past the red. I didn't think he could come past there, and I didn't think he would, because it was a trickier shot, but he's played it very well.
Yeah, he has. He really has. Excellent stuff from Patch, and he really needed that. You know, it's said at the start of the frame, it's probably too early to say that, you know, he needs it. So I know I sound like a bit of a hypocrite, but in a big match like this, and this is a massive match for them, it's so important to get started, isn't it? You see Christophe Lambert here, the flying Frenchman, who is flying towards a likely win here against Luke McAvoy. He's 2 frames away and at the table.
We come to the main event. Chambers breaking off, leading 2-1. It's race to 8. He's made a yellow, and just look at the yellows. Needs a good starting ball though. Watch the break again. He's going to have to take reds. They're not awful reds, it's just you've got that little cluster on the left-hand side there by the middle, but he's going to get into them now. On the red at the bottom of the table that's just beneath the black ball. Will he take it now? I don't think he will. Then again, if he could screw the cue ball through the gap of black and yellow, or even come down, actually now I'm rethinking his shot for him, is to come down off the 2 cushions out to the middle of the table, where he's completely ignoring what I'm saying. And why wouldn't he? That's why I'm sat here and he's out there.
First glance, this semi-final feels a little bit left field, but these two have made a habit this season already of sort of ripping up the scripts and the establishment. Both made Champions League semi-finals as underdogs. Andrew Patchett especially coming through a couple of monster groups as a rock-solid 4th favourite when the night began. But the reason why this little quarter of the draw, as we looked at it in the quarter-final, this half of the draw, Darrell Whitworth, John Chambers, Jaden Billingham, Andrew Patchett, the reason why that draw looks, you know, with respect to these lads sort of open, is because they did the hard work in eliminating the seeds early on. You know, John Chambers took out Sean Storey, who was the seeded player in his quarter of the draw. First up, 8-5 win, brilliant win for him. Took down Ian Alley in the next round, 8-7. And then Matt Cook and Darrell Whitworth fell by the wayside in the 16 and the quarters. Thin shot, Oh, that's a nice little nudge.
It
That's a
is.
lovely little nudge. Andrew Patchett reacts.
Look at the eyes.
Oh, wowee.
Yeah, they're effective. Well, they're in the last 3 of the tournament.
Yeah.
There's these 2 new guns, if you like, and the world number 1. That they're waiting in the final. That was always going to be such a tough shot.
Yeah, for as lucky a nudge as he got, it was still a really tough pot. He'll be disappointed not to make it. He really will. But it was tough. It was because he had to stun the cue ball out as well. If you were just rolling it in, you can use pocket weight and all the rest of it, but he really had to just nail it, essentially.
If I'm hypercritical, I believe he should have took that red when he was on it very early in that attempted clearance. Got it out the way. I know it would have been harder to get on the black ball, but I just think that ball was always going to be a bit tricky left till last. Andrew Patchett overdoing that somewhat. Yellow into the left centre now. Nicely done. Back in premium position. Now we probably just want to stop the white dead here on this yellow over the left hand corner. Give himself a little angle so he can just drop that yellow in over the bag and then just come up above the red to leave a straight yellow into the bottom left hand corner. So this is all about the bottom corners until we get to the black. Two choices here, run this in, play the black gently into the middle. We might hit it a bit firmer, come off that bottom rail and come up to the middle of the table and play it in the same corner he's potting the yellow. He's chosen the latter. And this black for 2-all. In it goes.
Very even start. Slightly edgy start as well, as you might expect in such a big game for these two players. Taking a look down at the tables, can see the women's challengers in action. Next gen game on as well. Amazing actually seeing some of the nippers out there. There are some very, very young players getting such a great opportunity to sample an event of this sort of scale. What an amazing time it must be to be growing up wanting to be a pool player. You know, starting off with this as your point of reference. Oh, that is a brutal win-off. Andrew Patchett cannot hit a better break than that. I think he looked up at the screen expecting to see a replay to see how on earth he did. That was what's...
Yep, unreal.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, he hit the middle of the back cushion.
Yeah, they've also started the second event of the Women's Pro as well out there this evening.
Yes, they have. Already some big results.
Didn't want that slide there, John Chambers. He was trying to come full ball into that yellow. Would have made things nice and easy for him. Now he has to play the red that's over the left-hand bag. Cuba going into the yellow. In fact, he's not made an attempt, which I don't blame him, because Cuba would have clattered into the yellow and I couldn't see any way that he could get that cue ball out of that gap there to be able to play any sort of feasible shot on the next red. Loss of turn played by Patchett, or is it? Yes, it is.
Yeah, it was almost a very funky combo.
You know, one that he wouldn't want to have made either. But look at his next shot in yellow. Should that other Ball had dropped in. But anyway, it's by the way. I was going to say, does it go in the middle? He's going to have to play a double here, I think. John Chambers. It's not going in the corner, is it? It is. There's the hand up. Sorry, Andrew.
Wow.
Oh. Here's another look. Went for this. Left centre. Wide. Oh. And there we go. It's middle of the back in the corner.
What a treble.
Right in front of Andrew's eyes when he's staring at it. This black ball. 3-2 John Chambers. Here we go.
What a treble. What a treble from John Chambers.
I'll tell you what, if that was me sat in Andrew's chair, he'd be in treble.
Yeah, I bet he would. Yeah, John Chambers can smile about it. Of course you can. Why wouldn't you?
Well, he's shaking his head because he can't believe how far away he was for the middle. If he was close to the middle, that doesn't fluke. But my word, take it while it's going. Here we go. We're going to have one more look. Oof. Ouch.
That's savage.
That's brutal. Never mind. John's happy.
Oh, yeah.
Andrew less so.
That's unbelievable. Honestly, unbelievable.
Well, that break there is part of the...
Well, if he does that on Monday night...
He's fine. He loves it.
He does that on Monday night, plays a fluke like that and then makes a golden break.
Oh.
I fear for his opponents.
I'll tell you what if he's in the final with Andrew Patchett and he's having to suffer it again?
A bit of deja vu.
Ugh.
Yeah, goodness me. Well, there we glimpse, and I'll say it every time, my least favourite rule in international 8-ball rules. 8-ball goes down, 8-ball comes back up. If it's the only ball potted, you turn the table over to your opponent. Not a particular fan of that. I feel like John's made a ball for break, which is what he was trying to do. Should be at the table, nevertheless.
There's a case for that. I half agree with you there.
Yeah, and you half
well, I do
disagree.
agree with you. Though. I can't half agree with you, can I?
Yeah.
I'm just sitting on the fence.
Otherwise, you're
that.
half disagreeing.
Well, exactly. And
yeah.
We could have a right old chinwag about that, and I'll just go and have an argument with myself in the corner.
I've seen you do that before.
No, there's lots of people see me do that before and rang the authorities.
I still can't get over that John Chambers moment. Like, Andrew Patchett's got to work hard here because it would be so easy to get rattled by that. It really, really would be. And you'd feel very sympathetic if he did. But he's still got to keep his head screwed on. Oof, he's still in this.
Didn't want that little clip there on that red. He was trying to go straight through that gap because that was already a nice little plant he had waiting for him. Now it's not. Decent containing shot there though from Andrew. And I think you'll find John will try and get the cue ball up in the air here and try and knock this yellow in, play the loss of turn, and here he goes. He dig deep enough? He can. Right back at you, Andrew, says John Chambers. Now I think the yellow might pass into the top right-hand corner, but it's going to take some nifty manoeuvring of the cue ball to pot that and get position. Is he looking at a 3-ball plant here? Yellow, black, yellow. Oh, he was. Cheeky man.
Very.
Can just tell you, Barbara Taylor, I'm hearing, is 5-0 up in her semi-final of the Women's Pro against Amy Beecher, as we just watched John Chambers miss an incredibly easy red by his standards.
Well, we talked about the importance of Patchett not allowing himself to get rattled, but maybe John has, strangely, by that fluke. And we've seen that sort of thing before. Like when you make such a ridiculous fluke, it can just sort of knock off your equilibrium a little bit, and you almost don't really know how to react. And he obviously played such a bad shot, but yet it's such a good shot. So it's, yeah. Strange starts to the final.
Even the semi-final.
Oh, my apologies, yeah.
Well, no, you're out of order. Well,
I know you'll keep me honest.
always, JMO. Nice little shot there from Andrew. Still a bit of work to do here. Oh, soon as he struck that, I knew he'd miss. He knew he'd miss as well because he sort of jolted on his cue. And we're seeing some incredible stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the difference between this match and the first one is...
I think this is now nerve-jingly because
Yeah,
we're in a semi-final and
Of course it is. Of course it is. It's a massive match for the pair of them, and they are playing like it's a massive match for the pair of them. You have played in massive matches, Tony, and I know you'd say that one of the secrets to playing in those matches is sort of just playing your natural game and not thinking too much about the fact that you're in a massive game.
Yeah, I must admit, it's when you first get to a big semi-final or final and got a crowd there watching, you know, it's a packed Saturday night, you're on edge, the adrenaline is flowing, and it's just, all it takes is you feel your arm that's holding the cue have a little bit of a wobble. You think, no, don't start that. Do not start that now. And it's you can tend to have a little battle with yourself when you're out there. Especially, it gets worse as with the match being very tight, you know, with level and one frame. And, you know, if you get 2 or 3 in front of you, you sort of, the shackles are off a bit and you feel a little bit more confident. But there's plenty of mileage in this match, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of twists and turns along the way.
Don't doubt that for a second. I really don't.
Well, John Chambers opting to get onto the red to play it in this bottom left-hand corner. He's going to have to screw the cue ball into the rail, try and bounce it off the bottom rail as well, and then get on the black in the centre. Oh, he's played that lovely. Could play in the top corner if he so wishes. It's nearly straight on it. I think he is going centre. In it goes, and that was a tidy little finish there from John Chambers. But wow, we did have a couple of dramatic moments in that frame.
Yeah, I should say, I tell you what, look at this for a scoreline. Barbara Taylor 5, Amy Beecham 0. This was not in the script at all. Amy would have started this match not as a heavy favourite, that would be doing Barbara an injustice, but certainly as a favourite, I would say, on sort of recent form. But goodness me, what a performance this is.
Well, I'm
going
to throw one at you because yesterday afternoon, no, Thursday, I was chatting to Barbara, and she's on about the commentary because she does a lot of the ladies' matches when we have full commentary team. She says, I don't mind doing the final of the ladies' event. Well, it's looking like the final you'll be doing is playing in it. Yeah.
Give her a mic.
Yeah. Yeah, well done to Barbara. She obviously playing some outstanding stuff because Amy's bad game is very, very good, if you like. Level doesn't drop very much for her. But then she will not give in. You must say that.
That would be some comeback though if Amy can claw it back from there. John Chambers then at the table. Once again, 4-2 in front. And he will be hoping that at this stage he can just start to assert some dominance. He's got scoreboard advantage, but yeah, he's not quite where he wants to be in every sense of that phrase.
That's an adrenaline shot, definitely. He's going to cut the yellow into the bottom left-hand corner and try and kick the one off the cushion. Might as well while I'm down here. Cue ball. So that overrun there has actually worked. Well, it would have done if the yellow was a bit more over the middle bag in his favour. But he still can get it up in that top corner.
Yeah, the fact he
wants to be straight.
Yeah, he's played a good shot here.
If this is straight, he's bang on. That, yes, please.
It's a great shot. He had a little touch there with how because originally I thought he might have slightly overplayed and it went above the middle pocket, but it just clipped the jaw and punched it out a touch. And that has really, really helped him here.
Well, ever since the fluke, the tide has turned in John Chambers' way big time. Yellow and black for a 3-frame cushion. That's in.
The 8-ball won't get missed from here.
No, it won't. And John Boy is building up a head of steam.
Yeah, he is, and a worry for Andrew Patchett, who just has to sort of just take it on the chin, really. No other thing for it. Check in on that. Luke McAvoy and Christophe Lambert. This one was 6-2, I believe.
6-3.
6-3, so it's now 6-4. And I tell you what, I'm going to call my shot here. I'd love to see the Challengers Tier 3 final, if I may, Mr. Producer. I'm going to head over to table 4, which is where you can join Nick Finn and Cole Bedford, which, if ever that was a dangerous duo, that is the definition of one. No, we're not going to see that. Back to the main table we go.
Well, Chambers breaks straight. And it seems a little while since we've seen Andrew Patchett at the table. That's because it has been a little while.
Three frames down then is Andrew Patchett. Not quite panic stations yet, but he certainly won't want it to be 4. He just has to take ownership of this frame. Get the job done. He has been so good in this tournament. He just needs to find that sort of form and he will be A-OK. He'll be in this match again, which is all he wants. At the minute, he feels like he's slowly being squeezed out of it.
To be fair, there's been nothing slow about it really at all. It's been going along at a nice brisk pace. Oh. Wow. Hit it a little bit thick.
Those just haven't been happening.
Should you play this, lost a turn here, or possibly try and pot the 2 in the combo? There he is. Plays that combo beautifully.
Well, he's a big former black ball player, isn't he, John? Those combos won't scare him.
Not the blackout, but is it going to go in front of the yellows? Well, good news, bad news.
Oh, that's not a great shot. That really isn't a great shot at all.
I mean, the 2 yellows next to the black do pot into top left and bottom right. This is where John Chambers is heading now. Got rid of one of them. Wait, might go in the middle. If that yellow goes in the middle, it's very simple now for Chambers to finish off. Obviously doesn't, because he would have definitely took it then, and there you see it's just the wrong side of that black. Wants that bottom corner again, does John. There you see, just to run this into the bottom right hand corner. Nothing to do with the cube, but it'll be guaranteed position on the black. Just needs his pot. It's in. As he strolls around the table, this for 6-2. And we're walking in a Chambers wonderland at the moment. 2 away from a place in the final and a date with Top Cat.
Here's the action then from the Tier 3 semi-final. Tier 3 final. Carl Selman and Sean Nolan. It's Sean 3-2 in front. And an excellent opportunity here on yellows. Oh, but a big moment, unless he's going to fluke it.
Well, put a lot of right-hand side on that ball, and you've got to adjust a heck of a lot more than he did there.
Andrew Patchett away quickly in this frame. As you can see, an important shot early on. And keep on going, keep on digging.
Could nudge the black out here, play the plant. He's done just that, and he's okay. He can cut the red in the corner. Very good shot. There's a yellow there on that right-hand side cushion that will hold the cue ball for him. Oh, he's played it quite heavy, but he's now knocked that yellow ball very close to the 8. Now will that black go past into the right centre? A bit more to think about now, Andrew Patchett, with the shot. Sure, it'll go into the top right-hand corner. If not, there will be half a pocket up there. Little bit of concern just for a fleeting second there from Andrew. Thought he might be sticking to that yellow ball, but stopped up short. So this for a 6-3. Very nicely done as well. Patchett refusing to lie down.
Yeah, and that was so needed for Patch. Really needed that. If he is to make the comeback, that needed to happen there. Still plenty of time match-wise to get back into this.
He needs John Chambers to start messing the break up.
Well, I'd sort of lightly suggest that John Chambers isn't playing in a fashion that if you were 6-2 down, you'd be really, really worried. John Chambers is making errors. You feel like Andrew Patchett is not out of this yet. John Chambers is 2 frames away, but still, you feel there's a lot of work to do.
Decent break here, though, from John. Likes it. I think you generally like it as long as you pot a ball off the break.
You just take whatever you can get, don't you?
Yeah, you do. Looking at those, I prefer yellows, but at the starter it's hard. I'd be tempted to play a thin cut, you know, down into the bottom right. That yellow that's nearest the cue ball. I know it's a bit of a tougher shot, but I think the reward is worth it.
I don't mind reds, you know. I don't mind reds. He has to play a very good shot now.
Looking at the overhead, I didn't think that red that's left near the bolt line went past that yellow. If it does, then yes. Well, not now, but...
Yeah, I must admit, I liked reds until the first shot from John. I didn't like the shot he then had to play.
Can't change halfway through.
Oh, I
liking
can.
reds.
He can't, though. That's the crucial thing. Yeah.
It's not a new rule that ultimately pulled the brought in yet, then. That's okay, then.
One day.
Now, has Andrew glued John to that yellow, or can he see just a glimmer of it on this bottom rail? And if he can't, he could just play a little bend shot into there. He's actually trying to play this into the bottom rail and come up and play a plant. Oh, that's a naughty shot. That really is a very, very naughty shot from John Chambers.
Wow. not sure I saw that coming, especially after the shot he played earlier on in this frame.
No. Chambers 3 balls away from getting himself on the hill. See his brother Rob there, watching on.
Yeah, he'll be proud as punches of what he's seeing
Oh, that's lovely.
out of his boy this
Nice
weekend.
control. Going to have to dig a little bit deeper onto this red though. Put it in the bottom left. Screw the cue ball. He might go full-blooded and come off the top rail here, but if he can just gently jab it in and hold, that'll be his preferred shot. Oof.
Oh, it's twitchy and nervy.
It is.
It has been from the moment these two broke off. It has been twitchy and nervy for both players.
Is that their two nicknames?
I don't think we can do them like that.
No.
Great
That's
shot
a
from Patchett.
Super shot.
I just wonder with Patchett in the position that he's in, whether he feels I'm 6-3 down in the semi-final, I need to go here. Just sort of swing your arm at it.
Why is he bothered to try and move that? He could have dropped that in and played that yellow straight down the rail, big pocket. I don't think he saw it.
Well, is it a big pocket?
Yes.
Well, there we go then. Just do that. You don't think the yellow's slightly in the way?
No.
Okay.
Give me a cue. I'll go out there now. We'll just stop the game and just see if they'll let me. We'll get Aiden will come out and he'll do a little show as well while we're out there.
I reckon he's not played that because it doesn't quite go. Because why?
I'm trying to struggle with your reasoning here. Is this the reasoning being because you're wearing corduroy?
I don't see what that has to do with it.
No, I'm just trying to find some explanation for you doubting me.
If people just listen to us on YouTube commentary, they would genuinely think we hate
They've turned
each
the
other.
volume down.
Well, yeah, that too.
He's overcut
he's
it.
Done all
Oh.
the hard work. He'd done all the hard work.
Well, well, well.
Interestingly, John Chambers is playing this red to the right centre, not in the bottom left. That's a big bag, apparently.
No. He prefers centres to corners. Always said it. All the times I've played with him over many years. Never, look, he's playing the black in the centre as well. Doesn't like corner pockets at all. Don't know what you're talking
Chambers
about.
On the hill in the semi-final. He is one frame away from his first Ultimate Pool final. This was the moment that Andrew Patchett will look back on from this match and go, that was the final nail.
Look at the face. A face of disappointment. Dejection. Barbara Taylor.
Ooh, now then.
Well, 5-3 from 5-0. That's a fair comeback from Amy.
Yeah. She's not giving in. Absolutely not. Andrew Patchett breaks off. He's flushed those. Absolutely flushed them. So naturally, it's dry. And John Chambers has his opportunity to go to a Pro Series final, where he will have to play about 10 times better if he is to lift a trophy. But getting there can often be the hardest thing. We've seen it, you see it in all sorts of sports, that semi-finals can be the harder ones to win. Once you're in the final, maybe you can just free up and, well, I've done it now, I'll just play my stuff.
He's actually got to be buzzing inside now of the table. The final is in sight. Wants an angle on this yellow. He has it. I think you should bring in a rule where you could like play a joker and then you could just pick the cube up there with your hand and go and stick it on the awkward ball that you want to get on.
Don't give them any ideas.
Now then he's going to try and play the combo. He has to. I was wondering if he had the room to get past the first red. So yellow onto the red in the bottom right. Here we go. He's going full-blooded. He's not bothering with any thoughts of loss of turn. This is to pot. Oh,
He's so good at those, isn't he?
Oh,
So good at those. And
Just
someone might say he's been a little bit unlucky with it,
yeah.
because he's going to have to play another big shot in just a second. And this one is every bit as difficult as the one he's just played.
But he's got the angle. If you can get this, make this pot and get that cube out. This is tough.
He's final ready.
Oh,
He's final ready. That's the one that says to me John Chambers is ready to play in the Pro Series final. It has been far from a vintage, but he saved his very best till very last.
fantastic performance from this man. Awesome.
John Chambers reaches his very first Ultimate Pool final at the first attempt, and he will play Tom Cousins in the big dance later on. A big shake of hands from his brother, who is every bit, in fact even more fired up than John himself.